Hey everyone, it's Jack, and today I'm out at the Peppermint Linux website to take a look at their new release, Peppermint Linux 11. The newest version of Peppermint Linux is based on Debian 11. And so I'm really kind of excited to take a look at this. I did a review last year on Peppermint 10, the respin I believe it was, and it seemed like a really good distro, so I thought it would be worth taking a look, and I almost forgot about this release date here until Mustafa reminded me. So thanks, Mustafa, I appreciate the reminder there. Otherwise, that would have blown right past me at least another day anyway. So here I am at the Peppermint website, and right now I'm on the release notes page here so we can get some more information on this. And so it starts right off with a screenshot, and then here we have a little rundown of our new features. And so we have our new Welcome to Peppermint application, which is something new, and that looks pretty cool. It looks like you can install a web browser, Peppermint extras, and other things to have access to as well. And so apparently a web browser, for example, is not installed by default. So after you do the install, then you just go in here and run the install web browser, and then that'll give you an easy access to choosing some web browsers. And then here we got Peppermint Hub. So it's kind of a mixture of the control panel and kind of some shortcuts there to get you to some essentials. And then other changes, we have the LXDE components have been removed in favor of XFCE 4.16.2. So that's nice to see the updated XFCE in there. And then Calamares is going to replace the Ubiquity, since we're now on Debian 11, and they decided Calamares is a much more simplified installer, so that's really cool too. It's included with a minimum set of desktop wallpaper during the install, but you can download additional in the Welcome to Peppermint app there. And then a streamlined set of icons again. You can download more. Also, Nemo replaces Thunar as a default file manager. So that'll be interesting. I like Nemo. Actually, I like them both, but that's kind of interesting and cool. So we'll see how that goes. Peppermint is based on Debian 64-bit, and that would be Debian 11, I believe. And here we're at our web page, and here we got Peppermint 10. So you don't want to download that one by mistake. You want to go up here and get the newest release, which is right here on the web page. So this is the link we want to click on, and I'm going to go ahead and click that and then download it. And after that, I'm going to load it in, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and now I'm going to load it in here, boot up to the live version, and we'll just do a really quick install. Being that it's Calamares, there shouldn't really be anything to it other than just your standard Calamares install. Besides that, it's always good to take a quick look at the live version just to see the live environment. Okay, we're booting in. And so here's our live environment, and it looks pretty good. And since I'm here, I'm just going to shrink down a bit. And then slide over here. That way I'm kind of out of the way, and we'll slide that. Okay, so here's our Peppermint welcome screen that they were talking about on the website. So that's kind of cool to see. Looking forward to taking a look at that after the install. And of course, you can install those apps here in the live version too. They won't carry over, of course, into your install, but you can still test it out. And then here we got like extras, and looks like quick access to your Synaptics, and then there's Peppermint Hub there. And of course your console and file manager, which is Nemo. Nice. I keep wanting to say Thunar. So let's go ahead and hit install, because it is kind of different seeing Nemo in an XFCE, but I'm good with that, even though I really like Thunar. I'm going to hit next here, and as you can see, it is the Calamares installer. And so I'm just going to run through this real quick. It doesn't really look like anything different here, so just going to go ahead and go through the motions. Scene one, you've seen them all, and I'll just put in that, and then username, and then our password here. and then we'll hit next, and then install. That was so easy. Even a caveman could have done it.
Hey man, I resemble that remark.
Okay, I'll be right back, right after the install. Okay, the install went pretty smoothly there. Only took a few minutes, so gonna hit done there and do the reboot. And if everything went well, we'll see a login prompt. Okay, and there's our Peppermint boot screen, so that's looking good. Got past that part. And I like the splash screen. That's really sharp. Gives it a very polished look coming in. And it looks like everything went well so far. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, excellent. So here's our background and desktop and everything. So the environment looks like it did in the live version, pretty true to it. As you can see, there's no apps in there for internet, so no browser, and then very minimal bare bones install. That's one of the reasons it went so quick during the install. So I can go up here and I'm just going to log in and we'll see our selection of browsers. And so here we got, well, it looks like we got software and browsers to choose from, some defaults that we can add in. So we got our Firefox and Chromium and so forth. I'm assuming this is all based on Debian stable, so I would say the Firefox and these browsers are probably older versions and not going to be like 96, which is around the current version. Then here we got, I'm going to check that transmission, our BitTorrent, our picture viewer. Let's do Parole in there. Maybe add in the Mate calculator. Snap packages and Flatpaks, that's cool to see those in there. I'll just hit the Flatpak. Then we got Gnome software store. I'm going to add that to YouTube downloader. Why not? That's kind of a cool app. I'm going to hit install and see what happens here. So it looks like it's starting to install, and that's a good sign. Nothing's blowing up yet. So far, Peppermint's looking pretty good here, giving me a nice first impression, and really like the polished look that it's got here. Makes XFCE look really good. So I'm liking the transition up to this point. Okay, it looks like it completed okay, so I guess that's that. I'm going to close that. And then we got other things like Peppermint Extras. I wonder what that is. Let's click on it. Okay, so that's our themes, our icons, and our wallpaper. Nice. So let's see what we got already by default. So I'm going to go to settings here and go up to appearance. And then, so here's our list of our themes, and that's kind of not, there we go. I guess it was populating. Okay, so we got Peppermint 10 Red Dark, and that's the only Peppermint themes. And then we got in our icons, one Peppermint, well, one Papyrus. We got kind of our standard. So let's look at our themes. Wow, this is a whole list of all the Peppermint themes. Nice. That's a lot of themes. Wow, so all the ARC themes and some other ones. Retro and Peppermint, all the different colors in there. Nice. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so I say let's go for it. Let's hit install. Check connection. Okay, I guess we can do that. Must be the connection to their repo. And that was successful, so I'll hit install. And there we got a terminal coming up, and looks like it's putting them all in. Wow. Running fast too. Okay, so I guess we just close that. And then I guess we just hit cancel. Okay, that took us back. Cool. Well, let's do the same thing with the icons. So yeah, a lot of icons there to choose from. So it's going to add all those to the ones that we already have. So I'm liking that. Popcorn and a couple elementary ones. Papyrus. So yes, again, check is good. And that's good. So install. And it looks like I'll need the password on this one. All right. So the icons, wow, that's a lot of them coming down. Downloading fast too. Seems like a pretty fast repo. So I'm liking that. Fast is always good. Okay, so we'll cancel and then cancel. I almost feel like there should be an OK there, but that's all right. So now we got our Peppermint wallpaper. Let's see what wallpapers we already have so we know kind of the contrast of what we're getting. Looks like we got 9 wallpapers installed by default, and about 5 of them are branded and 4 of them are unbranded, and they're kind of nice looking. But let's hit install, check, and then install, and let's see what we get for wallpapers. So it looks like it's downloading a pretty good amount there. Nice. Okay. So cancel and cancel. Then I guess we can just hit close here and it should take us back. There we go. To our welcome screen. So now in our appearance, let's close that real quick and just jump down here and go back into it. And now we got a lot more themes. Wow. And yeah, can't slide that up. Not quite sure what's causing that little lag there when we open the appearance. Oh, there we go. It's starting to move. Yeah, I don't know if it was downloading all that extra stuff or what, but it seems like it's kind of loaded there. Okay, there it looks like it kind of came into, maybe it was just populating all that stuff. All right, wow, a lot of things here. So we got arc purple, purple dark for the dark themes, which I kind of lean towards. And let's just open our file browser here, our Nemo, so we can kind of see our results. So there's the purple up there. We got the purple accents. If I hit home there, we get kind of the nice purple. Let's hit aqua. So that's aqua and aqua mix, so you can have like a dark accents with a light background, which is cool. I like that they offer the mixed offerings too. And then we got brown dark. That kind of looks cool. I kind of like that. Green, that's a kind of a mint color. And then orange. Yeah, orange, I like that too. I could go with orange, I think. And then pink, dark theme. Oh, we got teal. And the orange didn't change on that one, but I'm sure it will. But I kind of like the orange anyways. I think I'm going to kind of stick with that. Then here we got our different icons. So if we want something other than the papyrus, which the papyrus looks good actually. Here we got Peppermix, which is kind of tailored to this distro. I kind of like the artwork on it. Kind of cool. Looks good actually. And then see what the pick look like with the orange. And not bad. But you know, I'd probably use, that's the green. That might go good with it. Yeah, I like that. Yes. I might go with the green. I know normally I would kind of pick something to orange to go with orange, but I kind of like the green with the orange. So let's do HTOP. So let's install HTOP. Just to kind of be more consistent. Okay, so on HTOP, yeah, it's showing 1.1, which seems kind of high. I kind of noticed that there's a little bit of latency here, like when I was trying to load the appearance. And I'm not sure why. It might have been related to the installer there. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of maybe do a quick restart and just kind of let it refresh, and maybe that'll help. So I'll just jump down here, hit the restart thingy, and we'll click this guy and let it restart, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back in, and so hopefully now it's going to run a little bit smoother. We'll kind of be rid of that latency. Let's just do htop. Oh yeah, that's better. 953. Of course, I haven't really run much of anything other than the Peppermint, but hopefully that's going to kind of smoothen it out a bit. Then we'll go up here. Kind of looks like my display went off a little bit too, so I'm going to have to come back to that and adjust that in a second. But let's see how this is moving. That's still kind of dragging a little bit, but again, I think it's populating all those different, there's a lot of themes. Yeah, it's moving okay now, so I guess that was kind of minor. So it seems to be responding okay now when I'm clicking on these things. And I forgot what I had before. I think it was orange dark. We'll click that. Then we'll close it. Run htop again. Yeah, it's still hanging around 9 something. So yeah, that's kind of fair to Midland, I guess. But a little high for XFCE, I think. Let's click on this Peppermint Hub or Pephub. So here we got kind of like some things, commonly used items probably from the control panel, the system settings. So here's our user settings. So that's a nice, easy way to kind of set that. And it's kind of nice to have a graphical one in the XFCE too. And then we got our panel appearance. And then there's our panel settings here. And this is the same as if you would right click on the panel down below directly. And here we got like our display and appearance and items. So these are all the items. And so anything you need to change on your panel or add and remove is all done right here. And pretty standard, just like we've done in other videos actually for the XFCE panel. And then disk utilities, display, power manager, pulse, volume control stuff, mouse, and system software. So this is kind of cool too. I like this. So we have access, easy access to different things. And let me just change this display real quick. There we go. I almost forgot about that. Sorry. So yeah, and there's our update manager. So I see that we have Flathub. I guess that's a link to it. And then we got Snap Store, App Image Hub, and Gnome Store Software Center. So that is cool too. I just clicked on that Flathub and it's showing that it does take us out to flathub.org. So that is a link. Nice. And I think we might have to install the Flathub stuff probably through here. I'm thinking our browser is 78.15, so that's really old. So personally, I would want to get the Firefox through the Flathub. 78.15, of course, is normal for Debian stable. Don't let that take you aback because it's 78. It should be 78 in Debian stable, and that's what keeps it stable. But however, if you do want a newer browser, Flatpak's a good way to do it. And so here in our system settings, we can open up our software center here. And I'll just kind of get in there. And here's Synaptic. And Synaptic happens to be my favorite. So if I do like a search for Inkscape, it's probably going to be the older version because I don't think there's any. Yeah, not too bad though. It's 1.02. The newest is 1.1.1 dash something, 5 or 6. So that's okay. At least it's above 0.9. And then our Firefox, yeah, 78. And those look like all the options there are all 78.15 ESR, just all in different languages. So you can cover the whole spectrum of languages, which is kind of cool actually. So that is Synaptics. Then we have our software center. So if I open that up, that's our Gnome software. And so right now it's populating because it's grabbing all the metadata and everything for the first time. And so that'll just take a second. All right, there we go. And so here's all our stuff here. And this is the Gnome Software Center. And I always kind of like this package manager. And if we hit search up here, and if I just put in something like Firefox, let's see if it shows us the Flathub stuff. And no, nothing. All right, so, and Firefox is already installed, the ESR version, I think it was. So it's not going to show us anything new. So let's go with Inkscape. And it's probably the 1.0 version, but I'm hoping the Flatpak's going to be in there. And there's our listing. If I hit that, it's showing the Peppermint repo up there. And so if I kind of scroll down, 1.0 2.4. So yes, I think we're going to have to manually install the Flatpak stuff through Flathub. Let's click over here and go to our, take a look at our repositories. And nothing. That doesn't seem to be working. Let's hit that again. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure why I can't get in there. I don't know if that's a restriction in Peppermint or if it's just me. Try that again. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to close that and all the other stuff there. And then let's jump into Peppermint Hub. And I'm going to jump back out to Flathub. And this just has a nice shortcut. So I'm going to open this up and hit the Flathub icon there. Wow, App Image Hub too. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like app images. Okay, so out here at Flathub, I'm going to put in Firefox. And it should show us the newest version. If I click on that, yeah, it's 96.03. Nice. So here we got the install button, and then we got the link to the setup guide. If I hit install, then it's going to ask me to download the Flatpak reference, and there's software install. So let's try that first and just see if it embedded in the Gnome software, which I don't think it is. So yeah, let's go over here, and then we're going to choose our Debian, and then we'll just follow these steps here in our terminal. So I'm going to open up my console here, and then we're going to just copy and paste this stuff. Like we'll do the apt install Gnome software plugin, since we have Gnome software installed. But first we're going to install the Flatpak. So I'm going to do sudo apt install Flatpak first. Okay, and that's already in there, so that's good. So let's do sudo apt this guy, the plugin, and we'll say yes. And then lastly, we'll add our Flathub repository. Easy peasy. So I'm going to copy and paste that and hit enter. Forgot to do sudo, but that's okay. Here's our authenticator. All right, excellent. So that should solve that problem. Last step is to restart. So I'm going to restart, and I'll be right back again. I'm going to go in turbo mode. And I'm back. Suppose it was fast. Okay, so we're back at the desktop. Just going to jump back up here. Now if I go into the software center here, and there we go, it's repopulating, it's showing the Flatpak metadata for Flathub. So I'm liking that. Excellent. Now we're on track where we should be. So let's see what our version is, just out of curiosity. 1.10.5. Okay, I thought that's what it said when I was downloading it before, but just wanted to be sure that it's something recent. Okay, it's all populated. So now if we go up here and do a search, and if I do like Firefox, it should show results for our Flathub version. Yeah, there we go. Now we got it. If I go down here, then we can see that it's 96.03, so that's the newest one, latest and greatest. But let's find something we really want to install, like Inkscape, because we already have Firefox. And it should show both versions of Inkscape, I think. So if I click on this, yeah, here we go. So we got Flathub, and if I click on this, then we got Peppermint. So it's got both. Nice. Nice to have both choices. So for me, I would want to have the Flathub version, which is the newest, 1.1.1, if I were going to be using this guy for a daily driver. So installing, and then we'll let it kind of do its thing. And it's installed, so let's launch this guy. And yes, it looks like it worked just fine. So just hit save and thanks, and then I'll just select something like the 720p for video and let it open. And it looks great, yeah, very nice. And if we go here, we can see that it's version 1.1.1, so that's awesome. So now we have Flatpak. Excellent. I'm glad to see that back. So that kind of solved that problem. That's how you can install it from Flathub. Cool. And so here's our kind of a quick rundown of our applications. Like I said before, it's very bare bones. So it only gives you the very essentials, and then it's up to you to install the rest, which is really kind of nice if you want to have this more tailored to your taste. And this way you don't have to uninstall so many things. I just opened up our file viewer. I just wanted to see what it was, mousepad. So that's good. If you're like a lot of people, if there's too much stuff on there, you end up uninstalling a bunch of things, and sometimes that's kind of a pain. We have our MPV media player, which is nice. And then our settings are all pretty typical for XFCE. And then our system here. So yeah, really nothing new. Let's look at our wallpapers again. So we downloaded all these extra wallpapers, but I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. So let's see what we got. Oh, that first one looks kind of cool. Wow. Yeah, that's kind of neat. And a little character over there on the right-hand side. And then we got branded wallpapers, checkerboard thingy. Nice. And then another forest scene with a little character in there. Very cool. And then, of course, our branded wallpaper, which is quite familiar. And then another Peppermint branded. And that's pretty cool. That, I think, was in the original pack. And then you can have the red version. If you don't like so much red, then like this, you know, which I think is cool. But you can gray it up a bit or meet in the middle and have red and gray with white. And then another cool woodsy scene there. I kind of like that one. I just might keep that. Yeah, I like it. A lot of times I don't leave branded wallpapers up for myself when I'm on a daily driver, but this one's kind of cool. I could probably see myself having that anyway. And then our other items here, we got our icons. So by default, we don't have any icons at all turned on for the desktop. It's all clean. So if we check that box, we can have our home folder show up or our trash bin by just clicking it. And then down here, of course, we got removable devices. So we could check that if you want the device to appear if you plug something in, like a USB drive. So yes, I kind of like having those icons up there. So me personally, I would probably put them there. And then here's our settings manager. And in our system settings, it's all really standard XFCE stuff I've been over many times. The compositor, that's one thing I like to look at first. And I like having the windows a little transparent when we move it around, and it's already set there. So opacity of windows during move is the setting there. And then if I come down here, we got our display settings, removable drives, power manager, mouse, settings, accessories, all the good stuff, the classics. And keyboard is one that I like to set, and it's already set by default, the restore numlock state. I always like to make sure that's on, and good to see that's on. I like that. And then our mouse settings here, and if you need to change it, behavior or the double click timing or anything like that, your cursors, that's all done right in here, and the defaults look great to me. And so the system settings, yes. And I think that's really going to cover everything here, because Peppermint Linux is really meant to be bare bones right from the start, so you can go and get it all set up just the way you want it. And it has got the stability of Debian 11 behind it. And Debian 11 is really nice. I've really been impressed with the Debian 11 release. And personally, I've used it quite a few different times. And of course, with the Debian, there's different levels. You got Debian stable, and then you got unstable, and you got testing. So the unstable and testing will give you newer repos if you want newer software, but your stable is the one that's going to give you the stability and its long-term support. Now Peppermint is really polished, and it really makes the XFCE look good. I like the changes, and I really like the welcome screen in there with all the little shortcuts. And I also like the fact that they don't give you a default browser. That's kind of cool. If you have a favorite browser, half the time you're going to find Firefox as the default browser on most distros, it seems. And if you're not a Firefox fan and you want to be using Chromium or some other browser other than Firefox, then typically if you don't want Firefox there, you got to remove it and then put it on your browser of choice. So this way they kind of actually give you a little more choice with your browsers. And then their essential softwares are right there by default too, and I think that's really cool as well. I like that. So you can kind of get started really quick before you even get into the software store. So very nice. I'm liking what I see here with Peppermint. It's something that I think would work very well for many, many people. And if somebody wanted to use this as a daily driver, I really don't see this as being problematic at all for people. Again, you gotta kind of live in it for a while. On any distro, that's true on any distro, when you download something, you want to kind of give it a test drive for maybe a week or so and just kind of see how it pans out for you. Because everybody's hardware is different. You have so many different scenarios out there. This distro could work great on one and awful for somebody else. But overall, when you're on Debian, you got the power of Debian behind you. You got stability, and the likelihood that something's going to go wrong is pretty small. So anyways, I hope that was helpful. Peppermint Linux, I do definitely give it a double thumbs up. And I hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to leave that thumbs up and hit subscribe. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.